Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to Jagged Alliance 2. So, a couple of things have happened between the last episode and this one that I didn't think were important enough to really show in a video, but I'm just going to recap really quickly. Some of the plans changed because we ended up getting attacked again in the Drassen mine sector of D13. It's almost identical to the last video, but it didn't go quite as well. Both Fox and Ira ended up getting shot, and they're fine now, of course, but we had to spend a little bit of time patching them back up, so we're even lower on medical supplies than we would have been otherwise. Because of that, I kind of decided to change a little bit of the plan, and we spent a couple of extra turns kind of camping out here, training up a little bit of militia so that it would become defendable. You'll notice that we're now on day 6, and that also meant that our initial squad that we had hired was running low on their week-long contract. So I ended up having to renew that, which now puts our current balance at 2,700 and change. The daily income isn't quite meeting the daily expenses at the moment, which is a little bit troubling. And due to the dwindling supply problem, I figured we might want to consider doing something besides taking C13. So you'll see that the new arrivals have all positioned themselves up here in A13, and our A squad is over here in B14. Now, in between them, of course, is sector B13. The plan is going to be to assault B13, and there's one thing that we're going to do first, which is we do have some new email. I think I might know what that's about, but we're going to go ahead and check it out together. As we pop into the laptop, we're going to see that Arulco has become concerned. The reason for this is basically we haven't been doing anything. He understands that the operation is not an easy one, but our lack of progress, however, causes him grave concern. I hope the situation is only temporary and your team will be taking the offensive shortly. Yours truly. So, yeah, basically he's prodding us along like, hey, you can't just sit around all the time. You're going to have to go on the offensive eventually. And so we're going to be doing that now. You're going to get to see a coordinated attack, which will be a little interesting. I've just had these guys sitting up here parked and practicing marksmanship, as it's kind of low and they could use it basically. I'm going to go ahead and keep up the same thing. Biff and Flo are going to be in their own squad, and then we'll put everybody else in a squad 3. And then we're just going to coordinate a little bit of an assault here. So I have these guys coming in from the east, and then these guys coming in from the north. Alright, it should take them about an hour and a half to get there, so they'll arrive a little bit after midnight. And we should see a prompt that we haven't yet gotten.
Dull knives, flimsy helmets. It's enough to make me stab myself.
Uh-oh. Razor's not too happy with the level of equipment he's been provided, which is something that can happen. Basically, he'd like better gear. He doesn't even have a gun yet. I can understand his frustration. So this is the prompt I was talking about, that enemies have been detected in the sector that we're entering, and that there are other squads that are about to arrive. Would we like to coordinate a simultaneous arrival? And yes, we would. What that'll do is the ones that showed up early, they're going to kind of pause for a moment, and then they're going to be waiting on this team from the north to get there. So as we advance time again...
We know they're here. Let's hope they don't feel like fighting.
I'm sorry, Biff. I'm pretty sure they're going to feel like fighting. We've got quite a few guys, but they're no slouch either. So we're looking at 12 enemies versus our 11 mercs. We're going to go ahead and go to the sector. And now... the squads 2 and 3 that we've hired from MERC, they're not going to be super duper helpful here. It's primarily going to be our 5-man A team worried about these 12 guys. So we're going to stick them in here. This building will provide some nice cover right at first. These lights are going to be the biggest advantage for us so that we can kind of pick people off while they can't see us. And then... in the past, I've done this a little bit differently. Normally, I'm not bringing in such low-quality mercenaries right here. Now, you'll notice there's a fence that runs around this airport that we're assaulting, but you can, since we're coming in from the north, we can actually place behind the fence. That usually leads to fairly quick combat. As you can see, it's kind of well lit up here. So I'm not going to do that with them. I'm going to stick them outside, and these guys may not see an awful lot of action, but maybe they'll come in handy as like a reserve force at some point. So with that, we'll go ahead and get that done.
We have some inconveniences to dispose of.
We didn't waste any time spotting enemies right away. So, tell you what, I'm going to head to these guys at first. And they're likely just not going to be doing much of anything. We're going to need to bring them down around the fence line to get over here. I was kind of hoping we'd have a little bit of real time that we could just move them over quickly. That doesn't look like it's going to be the case. I'm just going to start walking these guys at first. I don't want them to be at a dead sprint and exhausted by the time they get there. We're already going to be a little bit less energetic than our enemies due to the fact that we just marched in here from the north. Alright. You'll notice my favorite pal, I did mention this when we were hiring him, Razor. He tends to move faster than everybody else just due to his high like agility and strength. All of his like main kind of body statistics get him quite a lot of action points and quite a lot of movement in every turn. Currently, his marksmanship is terrible, but eventually we can do something about that, and everything else will make up for it. And Flo, you've got like 37 AP. Ugh. 37 AP and pepper spray. What are you thinking, woman? You came into a combat zone like this?
Present, standing by.
Alright, let's get over here to the guys who are actually going to matter.
Standing
and
you got my ear.
I'm gonna push Ira up just a little bit. She'll face.
I've got my hands full.
Oh, she sees somebody through the window there. Okay. And
Standing
then,
by.
can he move yet? He was kind of he's surrounded by everybody else. So, we'll go ahead and get Bull down here. He will do something very similar. Face, take a knee. Go ahead and aim in as well. Ready that shotgun.
Standing by.
We'll get Coyote up to like
Understood.
here-ish. He will also face and then take a knee.
Standing by.
Grizzly take like one step forward, kneel,
You called?
and then just to watch our flank for the moment in case anybody comes around this building. Fox is going to be paying attention that way. I'm going to try... Actually, no, I'm not. I was about to say I might wait a turn to regen my AP, but man, there's a good chance these guys might just turn and see me. So I'll tell you what, let's take a couple of shots here. I'm gonna aim for this guy's leg. Oh, I didn't do it. I was hoping I could knock him down, which would just largely drain a lot of his action points as he spends the time standing back up. Unfortunately, that didn't play out the way I had envisioned it. Let's see if maybe we can just get him dead. Ah, critical condition. Okay. And... nope, that's looking a little wide. Alright. Everything is going to depend on Ira. At least see he has covered his head.
Gun doesn't want to work.
Ira's now's not the time. Okay. Clear jam. Aim in. Deep breath. There we go. It's all about those fundamentals.
What's up?
And then he is going to be a little short to be able to take any shots himself. Might have to weather a storm for a round or so here. Oh. Okay, that really lucked out, truth be told. Yeah, that got pretty lucky too. Okay, so 2 guys so far. We've got at least 10 more. I know some of them are going to be coming from the south, just due to the fact that there's a sector south of here, and they'll be reinforcing from there. There are a few guys around this building, and then I think everybody else is largely going to be just inside the compound. So we should be seeing enemies mostly coming from right in this large area. Bull, do we really need your shotgun
called?
yet?
Standing by.
Probably not. Let's see if we can get this done. Keeping Bull in reserve in case anybody shows up.
Cool.
There's a good chance
You
that
got my
a
ear.
single blast from the shotgun is going to be enough to
Standing
lay
by.
them out all by himself. Now, I think I pointed this out before, but just as a reminder. So I could shoot at the torso. It looks like it's got a good chance to hit, but the aiming reticle has turned black. That means it's fully obstructed, that I would hit this wall even if I was to land on target. The head is really the only thing I can aim at here, which is a much lower chance to hit. So I'm going to want to aim in, but the good news is if I do hit him in the head, it's going to take a lot of damage.
All right.
Alright, indeed. Okay, so that sorts that out.
You got my ear.
Glad to have a turn to kind of recoup, regain the AP, you know, hope for those interrupts as enemies move into range, that sort of thing. We're going to go ahead and keep moving these guys up just in case they ever become relevant in the fight. I'd say there's a good chance that the B team over here just doesn't see any action at all, but, you know, better be prepared than anything.
Standing by.
You got my ear.
Doing that in the wrong order. Space will cycle through your characters, pressing the space bar. So, when you're in these kinds of missions where you've got multiple squads, it's usually easier to do that. You've also got a button over here to chain squads, and you can shift space just to cycle directly through the squads themselves. Alright, we'll go ahead and finish that, and we'll see if we run into anything. No, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty quiet enemy turn. Okay.
Standing by.
That is fair. We'll go ahead and just start creeping up. Move like a couple of squares for everybody each turn. Maybe a few more for him.
You got my ear.
Okay.
Standing by.
And I think Fox could probably stand to abandon
I'm into it.
that covering of flanks there. I don't think anybody showing up from there. I just needed to be absolutely sure of that before we randomly got blasted. Okay. Now Razor is of course getting ahead of everybody, which is a little bit dangerous, especially considering that he is unarmed. He does have his handy-dandy knife, as his name might suggest, but I'm gonna have to sprint up to a guy in order to stab him. Probably, you know, one of the reasons he's got all of those action points. I guess if you had to in a pinch, instead of trying to use traditional gunplay, you could do some fancy ninja action and just run at enemies and stabbing them in the face. It sounds a little bit silly, but quite honestly, if you're ever in the reverse of that, if you have a handgun and an enemy comes running straight at you, it's usually a terrible sign, because once hand-to-hand is kind of close,
Where are they hiding?
tends to favor whoever took the initiative and lands the first blow, as it quickly depletes energy levels, and you can knock somebody to the ground, and it's just hard to recover from. So sometimes I would probably say, you know, an enemy that maybe pops around a corner really close to you or something like that, the chance of you missing with a knife are going to be a lot lower than they would be with a gun. I tend to favor keeping everybody with a handgun for situations like that.
We have some inconveniences to dispose of.
You know, right now, handguns are kind of our primary weapons, but eventually we're going to get out of this phase. We're going to have a lot of assault rifles and machine guns and things like that. In those situations, I usually like to keep people with a pistol, just for those scenarios where something pops out, because the pistol can usually respond a lot faster. You know, if you find yourself with maybe 20 AP left over from a round and somebody shows up right in front of you, oftentimes you can transition to a pistol and get off one shot, and that's often all it takes to save your life. So, pretty big fan of doing it that way. Alright, that real-time segment did get us a lot farther up, and I'm thankful for that. Now, they're still not really in place to do anything. We just spotted the one guy. We're able to dispatch him pretty easily. Hopefully we can just have another quiet couple of turns and then maybe advance up a little bit more. Okay. Once I get these guys probably about to the corner, they're going to hold. And then we'll advance our primary squad. And then we're just kind of going to abuse the light and dark dichotomy that we've got going on in this sector at night, as I have mentioned in the past. Especially early on when our weapons have such short range. Nighttime assaults are like vastly superior to what we could do in the day. In the day we'd end up in these long protracted fights, just emptying magazines of ammunition at one another and praying for a hit. Whereas at night, we usually don't see the enemy until they are in range for us to shoot, and that tends to favor whoever is assaulting the sector. Bull here is from southwest. Actually, that's kind of terrifying. Bull southwest. Let's face this way. So this might be the reinforcements from the southern sector.
Standing by.
Just in case, we're gonna reposition these guys really quick here, and then we'll get back to these guys.
All right.
Well, maybe we won't get back to these guys. Who did we spot? We spotted somebody at the gate. That's fine. We probably aren't going to really unspot him, truth be told. So we'll just go ahead and take one turn of kind of dashing everybody up. And once they're in place, we can start moving everyone else and get this show on the road. Alright. That's largely... So, Gasket has a 1911, which is, you know, totally fine as handguns go. Gumpy and Haywire are both carrying 38 specials, which are basically the worst gun in the game. Biff is doing the same. Flo is carrying the only thing worse than the worst gun in the game, which is not a gun at all. Oh, Flo. Okay. He's at like double my range. And considering I had heard something over here, I wanted to do this. Alright, so this is going to work out pretty well. That guy's going to be taking a dirt nap. Go ahead and slide up here a little bit.
What's up?
I'm going to have Bull do the same, get up to about here. That way with Fox having lower AP after taking those shots, she is covered by other people so that they'll see enemies before enemies see her. And he's only like 4 out, so we'll probably get Grizzly up to like here. He'll probably be able to take shots. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. This sector should be brightness 22. That's totally low light.
Blast it!
Oh, and you're spotting more and more enemies. Okay, and that is just inside his range. Perfect. Alright, and...
You got my ear!
Ira, last but not least anymore. I mean, we hired Flo after all. No, and then that guy turned around and ran. Okay. Well, hopefully an enemy is kind enough to wander back into Grizzly's optimal range.
Standing by.
2 out. So I can get up to like this, even with this tree line, without being spotted. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Be a little aggressive with him. And then
standing by.
Coyote, something very similar is going to happen with you. I'm going to move him just in a straight line. And then take a knee.
You called?
Fox, we can push up to, say, here. And take a knee.
What's up?
And then Bull. We'll have him moved to like here. And then drop down. He won't be able to shoot if he runs into anything. So hopefully he does not run into anything. And then Ira, bringing up the rear for that medical aid in case we need it.
Ready.
Alright. Now, Razor, you're going to come up to here.
Yes.
Biff, you're going to be right beside him. You two don't like each other very much, but it'll be okay. You don't have to talk to each other, just watch each other's backs for me.
Yeah.
Alright, and then these three guys that actually have some firearms, we're going to pull them up to like the
More trouble.
edge of the darkness. I think that'll be okay. I don't expect anybody to be heading their direction. And then similarly, we'll pull him to right about here. Take another knee. And then Gumpy, you're getting a workout today, my friend. Oh, and not enough to drop down. We'll save that for next turn. Okay. Everybody that moved was out of sight. That's totally a-okay by me.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think I want Haywire to be the opening shots into here because
Standing by.
they probably would lose that exchange. So I'm going to let Grizzly draw a little bit of aggro here. And then our B team will end up being, you know, kind of an ace in the hole in case we need them.
Cool.
Cool
Standing by.
indeed. All right.
Gotcha.
Go ahead and sprint up a little bit more. Drop down.
You called?
We're doing some I'm up, he sees me, I'm down action here. The military and its training is very fond of mnemonic devices. The idea there being, you know, in the heat of combat, more complex instructions might be forgotten. So things like, how long should you spend running whenever you're, you know, in a situation like this and you're needing to move, where you drop down and aim in, maybe fire some shots, and then you would need to push forward. You know, you get up while other people are shooting and covering you. The mnemonic that gets used there is I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, which gives you enough time to probably take a handful of steps, just something very similar to that.
Target.
Oh, and we spotted something. Let's go ahead, let's try to take that shot. A little bit wide, a little bit wide. Oh man, we're 1 AP away from being able to take another shot. That's unfortunate. All right, I think I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm not going to run into anybody out here. I think we would have encountered them by now if we were going to. I'll push Fox up just a little bit further so that she can cover any kind of flank that might happen. We'll like sweep these guys around. But I'm fairly certain at this point, this guy, I don't know, just a lone straggler, it would seem.
You got my ear.
Okay.
I'm
and
on it.
finally, Ira, holding it down in the center.
Yes.
Now, do
Yeah.
we want
What's up?
any of these guys shooting? He can't see anything.
Yeah.
It's only Haywire. Not very good odds. Not very good odds at all. 1, 2, 3 is still dark. 22 brightness. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll walk these guys up a little bit.
What's up?
Just to the point that he'll be able to start taking some shots in range. Oh no. He got spotted. Oh no. Ooh. That was not a small amount of damage considering his total health. Okay, Haywire. Just hold tight. Give me a second.
Blast it.
We'll have you patched up in no time.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Except we heard something. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to move
Brutal.
like this. Oh, encounter an enemy. Oh, haywire. Haywire, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hold on there, pal. Hold on.
Present. Standing by.
Okay.
You called?
Let's think about this for a moment. So he's right about here. She runs up. She'll have 50 action points left. Okay. I can see him from here. You're about to get shot in the back, my friend. And... Don't shoot at my haywire.
Sweet dreams.
Standing by.
Okay. And then we can get him up a bit so that he can spot this guy who's now within his range. We'll have him take a knee as well. And he should be able to get off 2 fairly good shots. Yeah. Good night.
All right.
Okay. Now, haywire.
Present.
Don't scare me like that. I'm going to do one other thing, which is Operation Human Shield. We're going to move Gumpy up. That way, if there are additional units, they'll spot Gumpy before they spot haywire. Hopefully take a shot there. Now, his health isn't looking great, and he's real far away from anybody that can give him any kind of medical care. That is unfortunate.
What's up?
And we may find him incapacitated before the end of this fight, but I don't think he'll bleed out entirely. Could try to get Fox over to him. She still does have some medical supplies. No, I am wrong. She does not have any medical supplies. Ira is the only one left with his 1 med kit at 35%. Ooh. That's probably something I should have taken stock of before starting the fight. Okay. It's fine. We're fine. Everybody's fine. Grizzly's murdering people. Grizzly, did you get performance anxiety? I like pointed out how amazing you were doing and then you flubbed it. Okay.
What's up?
I'm also going to go ahead and have Gasket come out to like here. Oh, 36, that's why. Thought I checked the brightness level. Apparently, I was incorrect. All right, we'll have him face that way. And,
Ready.
Yes.
Biff, why don't you come up to like right about here? And, like, face that way. Okay.
Target.
All right, we spotted a couple of
Blast
guys. Okay, they're
Yes.
all inside there. So obviously, I did make a tactical error
What's up?
here in my assumption that this had been cleared. I really thought I would have run into somebody sooner if there was going to be anybody to run into. But I'm now just going to have
You call?
Bull and Fox
I'm into
really
it.
quickly sweep the remainder of this. And
I'm into it.
it looks like we are
Yes.
going to find out that this is all clear. And then Biff. There we go. Okay. There shouldn't be anybody over here. I mean, what are the odds, right? That won't come back to
Standing
haunt
by.
me later. Not even a tiny chance. Okay. You're 2 out of your ability to hit. That's a 22 brightness. It's a 29 brightness. So really, as far up as I think we want to get is probably here. We're a little bit outside of this weapon's effective range. We might be able to land a lucky blow. Maybe not. Nope, couldn't quite do it. Thankfully, Grizzly...
Standing by.
Oh, and we emptied the magazine with that one. Luckily, Grizzly has a longer range on his submachine gun, so this should be an easier task for him. Yeah, 1 connected.
You got my ear.
We'll go ahead and get Ira up here. Just in case. And then we'll see what our enemy has to say about all that. Notice he's leaving
Blast
some
it.
blood
got my
droplets on the
ear.
ground.
How much blood can I lose before I have to do something about it?
Yeah, I know, Haywire. Unfortunately, you may have to
Standing
lose a little
by.
bit more. Okay. Go ahead and load another mag. And then out of range
Standing by.
and not visible.
Standing by.
You got my ear.
Also out of range. Well, I'll tell
Standing
you
by.
what. Go ahead, have him pop off some rounds here. Ooh. Oh man, that looked good. I think the benefits outweigh any risks.
Standing by.
Oh, nice. He got an interrupt as he moved into a position that Grizzly could see him from. Even getting damage on these guys is great. You know, they're in critical condition. They're bleeding, and the oh, that looked bad. Okay. The enemy AI does not patch themselves up during the middle of a fight. So, if you can get somebody to start bleeding, they will usually stay that way. I don't love that I can't see out there. 29, 22. Let's move one square over, face back.
You got my ear.
Assume that he
Standing
only
by.
saw us and was able to shoot due to the flash from our muzzle. At least that's what I'm hoping, because the alternative would be that he has some kind of night
Standing
vision
by.
that we don't have.
Yeah.
And that is truly terrifying, so I don't want to consider that possibility.
All right.
Yeah. When you know they are out there,
Okay.
get all quiet.
Haywire over here. Man,
All right.
his health
We're on.
is definitely looking a little low. It's okay, though. We'll just wrap this up.
Cool.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the last of them.
Automatic first aid. And fantastic. One thing I was really concerned about was that that med kit would not have that extra 4% whenever we were done, and that we'd find ourselves unable to get everybody to stop bleeding. Now, I'm going to do something really quick and bring everyone inside the gates, basically, so that if we do get counterattacked, we're at least
Yeah, this is
not out
Arulco's
here.
secondary commercial airstrip. She's ferrying stuff in and out of here all the time. She's got one of her goons to keep an eye on it, too. Man, I'd love to take him out.
Okay. As Ira so eloquently explained as she interrupted, this is Arulco's commercial airstrip. So we now have access to an airport. And that is going to be very important.
You got my ear.
So with everybody inside, the basic idea here is that if we get counterattacked, they're going to use more or less the same strategy that we
You got
are,
my
except
ear.
we're going to be a lot more patient about it. And
Ready.
so
You
let's get the
called?
right people in place, though. Like
What's up?
Bull, you can throw it about here. We'll be a lot more patient about it, meaning that...
Standing by.
Meaning that
Gotcha.
if somebody was to assault us at night, we'd want to hang out like right about here. They'd have to run through the light of these gates in order to get to us, and we'd be able to light them up in this area while still remaining back here in the dimmer light and out of their visibility. So that'll be our plan. We've got everybody patched up. There's some stuff to do in this sector. We've got people to talk to, buildings to explore, all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here, though. Next episode will be one of the a little bit more RPG-ish and story element stuffs, and just kind of recouping, reorganizing, and getting prepared for our next offensive. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to subscribe to see more videos daily. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other episodes. And I will catch you guys next time.